Hello, in this video we are going to talk about summarizing the fundamental trig function. So for the trig identity function, we have the basic one, which is the Pythagorean identity.
Annoying.
Oh, sorry, it's my dog. So we have cosine square theta at summa theta square equals to 1. And from these basic fundamental Pythagorean identity, we can derive into two identity. One is 1 plus cotangent square equals to cosecant square. And then the other is 1 plus tangent square equals to secant square. Okay, so here's the way that I memorize it for the second two, because the first one is very easy, right? It's coming from x squared plus y squared equals to 1 from the unit circle. And the second one, the way that I memorize it is the second one, they both have a co. And then for the third one, they don't have co. So the rest of it would be just cotangent and cosecant, and then tangent with secant. Then we use all the 6 trigonometry functions. So that's how I memorize it, but if you have a different way to do it, feel free to do it. Okay, odd and even function, that's another identity, which is tangent negative theta is equal to negative tangent theta. And the cosine negative theta is equal to negative cosine theta. And the sine negative theta equals to negative sine theta. So the first two is the odd function, and the sine is an even. No, it's the first. Oh, sorry, I make one mistake. So tangent, cosine is an even function. So this should be a positive. And here is the identity. These two is odd function, and the cosine is even function. So the way that I memorize it is by the graph for cosine and sine, because I know that the sine graph starting from 0 look like this, and then on the left side of the y-axis.
Annoying.
Oh my god, Toffee, stop! Mommy busy. It's my dog. We complete like this way. So take a look, the blue one and the black one, they're symmetric over the origin. Even though you don't know whether they're symmetric over the origin or not, at least you know that this is not symmetric over the y-axis. So here is our sine function. So now let's take a look at our cosine function. Cosine function, we know that starting from the 1 goes that way. And then if we fill up the left one, if we fill up the left side, we will get this way, right? So what do they look like? Well, this one is very obvious that they're symmetric over the y-axis. If they're symmetric over the y-axis, this is going to be a even function. If not symmetric over the y-axis, in this case, only in this case, we call it is the odd function. In fact, if it's an odd function, they symmetric over the origin. Okay. Now, if cosine is an even function, then we have cosine negative x equals to cosine x. Sine is an odd function, so we have sine negative x equals to
Annoying.
Sorry. Is equal to sine x, negative sine x. So now how do I know tangent is what? So if you remember that, if it's a negative number, times a positive number, what do you get? You end up to have a negative number, right? So that's the trick. To get the tangent is an odd function. Because we have a tangent negative x, so we would write it. We have tangent, oh no, sine negative x over cosine negative x, and then we write it. Since sine is an odd function, we have a negative sine x over cosine is an even function, so we have a positive cosine x. So together they have a negative sign, right? Negative and positive, you end up to have a negative. Sine over cosine gives you a positive tangent x. Just a tangent x, sorry. So that's why at the end you will have tangent negative x equals to negative tangent x. So that gives tangent is an odd function. Okay. So how do we verify the identity? One way to do it is to use a decimal, such as how do I know that cotangent theta is equal to 1 over tangent theta? So let me pull out decimal calculator. So here's the decimal graphic calculator. We got cotangent x, right? And now let's take a look. It's the red line. And now we have a 1 over tangent x. See, they overlap. If these two overlap, that means they're the same function. That means they're equal. So that's one way to verify it. And in the later chapter, we will talk about more way how to verify these graph or this trig function. But here is one way, is use the decimal to verify graphically. Okay, I'll talk more about that in the next video.